What's up guys, my name is ESO and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a different type of walkthrough to what you'll probably see most people doing with Fallout 76. This walkthrough is going to focus entirely on the main quest line, its lore and the backstories of the locations that we're going to travel through. I think when I realized I was trying to live stream the main quest with copious amounts of holotapes trying to explain the story to me while there was background fire going on and lots of players attacking me and all these other things going on, it was just impossible and I quickly lost interest in the story. So what I wanted to do is go back, play everything, listen to every single holotape, read every note and make it into a video so you guys can just sit back and enjoy it yourself. Obviously this series is going to take a little longer to film because of the nature of a multiplayer game, but I hope you guys appreciate it and enjoy it. If you do and you want to follow the series, please go ahead and subscribe, press the bell icon, and then YouTube will actually send you a notification every time I release a new video. I'm also doing guides on Fallout 76 as well if that interests you. But we're going to be playing a sniper character for this setup, a stealthy sniper character. I think that'll be quite fun for a solo player, and I've got some very interesting tips and tricks for you on our way. So let's begin.
War never changes. In 1776, this great nation accepted that armed conflict was the only way to preserve our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If our founding fathers could only see us now. From Antietam to Amiens, Okinawa to Anchorage, we have fought. And now, the Red Menace is at our doorstep. Democracy itself is under threat of annihilation. That is why today, July 4th, 2076, 300 years after our great nation began, we gather together to honor the completion of Vault 76. This sprawling underground shelter may have been engineered by Vault Tech, but it was built by you, the good people of America, so that if the bombs do come, if the end does come, our way of life will endure. But not everyone will be saved. Those chosen to enter this vault must be our best and our brightest. For when the fighting is stopped and the fallout has settled, you must rebuild. Not just walls, not just buildings, but hearts and minds, and ultimately, America itself. So as we stand here today, we pray that the world will know peace. But if that is not our destiny, if war must come, we stand together knowing that here in Vault 76, our future begins.
There we go, the grizzled lone wolf veteran. He's going to be a sniper build that later actually builds into a gunslinger build as well. So, let's begin guys. This is Vault 87. This is my bedroom. I'm a pretty messy person considering some of the smartest people in the world went into this vault. For some reason I got invited. Perhaps my background in architecture made me, actually able to enter the vault. I was a pretty hopeful person. I brought my skis along with me. I have no idea why. But hey, let's have a look at the terminal and read any messages that we were left. Happy Reclamation Day. Today is the day, everyone. Reclamation Day. We've been preparing for this moment for 25 years. We're ready. You're ready. America is waiting for us. So let's get out there. The Overseer. You're invited. Who? Everyone. When? 10 PM to midnight. We've opened up the remaining liquor rations and the official Vault-Tec party hats. The Overseer will give a speech at 10 minutes to midnight and will lead the countdown. Have fun, everyone. It's kind of crazy to think that the smartest people in the world decided that they would have a party, including alcohol, until the middle of the night before they venture into the wasteland with a hangover and have no idea what they're going to discover outside. There's also a unique game in here. I think it's called Nuka-Cola Tapper or Nuka Tapper. I'm not going to show you guys this game. You can play it for yourself, but just make sure that you actually eject holotape. Just press R if you're on PC, and then you can take that with you and play it on your Pip-Boy whenever you like. The magazine's just here on the right as well. So there you go. You're a part of the collector, and that's the first game you can collect. So this is my toilet. I've got a strange giddy-up buttercup doll here. You know, it's not that amazing. So we're just going to exit the vault. We're going to grab our Pip-Boy. The pinnacle moment in any Fallout game when we pick up our Pip-Boy. Very old-fashioned, this one, though. It's got its own built-in radio still, so, you know, we've got that going for us. Pretty happy with that. So, quest started. Reclamation Day. Let's open the door and begin.
You have been tasked with nothing less than the rebuilding of America. Such a huge responsibility. Just know that Vault-Tec is proud of you. I am proud of you. When you hear this, it means I've been gone for several hours. I've got my own mission out there in Appalachia. This is the Overseer, signing off.
Very interesting that. The Overseer was the first person to leave the vault, guys. She left before anyone else, which means she clearly had ulterior motives that we weren't aware of. Something she maybe wanted to find out, maybe some closure with Vault-Tec. I guess we're going to figure that out as the storyline progresses, though. An interesting little Easter egg, though. Whenever you start the game, you will appear in one of these random rooms. So, you know, they're all the same, but just a little bit of information I figured out while I was playing.
Sir, hello. Oh, finally. I feared you'd never wake up. Don't you remember? It's Reclamation Day. Time to leave the vault. Most of the others have already gone. Best get cracking.
You see, I'm always the one...
Each standout has gear for you to pick up and use. Limit 1 President.
Very well, thank you. Let's go and collect our equipment then. I'm not going to listen to the tutorials. I can explain everything as we go on for anyone who's new. So here we go. We have some hydration, some Rad-X and purified water. Rad-X is for resisting radiation, whereas purified water is for obviously regenerating our health, because we need to eat in this game. And I'll explain all the other stuff as we go along, but we're just going to grab everything we need for the future of America, guys. And our party hat, the most important thing here. Let's put on our party hat. Oh my god, yes. I'm probably going to change my character a little bit later, but this is him so far. I took an angry photo because he's a bit of a grizzled war veteran, this man. He's a lone wolf. He doesn't really want to partner up with anyone. He deliberately slept in. Well, he didn't even sleep in. He just waited until everyone else left the vault so he could leave on his own. So I think we've got all of our supplies now. This is quite cool. It's actually kind of like a little presentation about a few little tutorial tips on starting out in the game. You guys can watch that if you want. I'm going to skip past it. Here we have some black reading glasses, a pen which we can scrap later. Most importantly, some perk cards. Make sure you pick these up because that will allow you to complete the quest. And then we're going to level up and we can get our first perk, guys. Now, this is a sniper build and it might sound a little bit strange, but the first thing we're going to do is invest in intelligence, because the most useful perk at the start of the game, well, in fact, if we're playing like a shooty sort of build, is going to be the first aid perk. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but you can still choose other perks by just scrolling across, and we have all these perks here to select from for our first one. You don't actually need to choose the perk relevant to that special stat that you picked at the start of the game. Now, I picked intelligence. Stim packs restore 15% more lost health. That's the perk card I want as well. So let's grab this right now. You can only get one perk card per level, so it's quite important later on, as I'll explain, for the most efficient way to level up your character build and get the most appropriate perk cards for your build. So let's go ahead and equip that. We've got 2 intelligence, and I can heal myself more with stim packs. This is going to be invaluable later on in the game because obviously you're at a disadvantage if every stim pack you use heals much less than everyone else's, so you're going to want to heal as much as possible. And I think that perk card with the intelligence stat is almost a necessity. So here we are, the end of the vault, but there is some added information we can actually find out before we leave the vault just here. So if we go into this control room, guys, we can actually find there's a security terminal, and I need to hack this. And I have a hacking skill of 0 currently, and I can hack it. So let's go ahead and do that right now by guessing the password, because, you know, I'm a man of intellect, and as such, I'm going to guess the password. Maybe we're just playing a lucky character. There we go, I guessed it. You see, I'm lucky. Awesome. Vault 76 security instructions. Here we go. Let's have a read, guys. Confidential, confidential, confidential. Security eyes only. Vault 76 is one of the most highly valuable, important vaults in our network. As such, these orders must be obeyed at all costs. The future of America is at stake. Upon receiving the activation notice, your team is authorized to use lethal force. Any obstacle or threat that stands between you and getting vault residents safely inside the vault must be dealt with decisively. Only authorized residents are allowed inside. All other personnel should be considered enemy combatants. So this was very serious. The Overseer has special instruction after the activation notice. As soon as the entry procedures are complete, your team must stow all weapons in the specified containers. Further orders will then be dispensed. Trust your Overseer. Obey your Overseer. Know that each and every member of your team was selected specifically for this assignment because of the Vault Tech's faith in you. If you work together, you will succeed. Now, I'll tell you more about Vault Tech as we go along, but let's first have a look at the incident reports. Maybe we can get an idea of the kind of people that were in the vault. Drunk and disorderly. Jill caught M. Thompson singing loudly during the night cycle. He got into the Reclamation party stores and borrowed a 6-pack. The rule says that theft mandates lockdown. But what's the point? In 2 days, everyone's out anyhow. Threw Thompson in the holding cell to sleep it off. Fair enough. I mean, there's not a lot that can be done to them, and I think these people are quite smart, so they realise that they can kind of get away with whatever they really want to. Assault investigated. Nakamura investigated a complaint filed by our old friend Jake. Jake claimed that E. Jefferson shoved him with intent to commit bodily injury. Nakamura found a witness and Jake was gently shoved out of the way after he was laying into Jefferson about being an infectious ass. Asked the chief whether we could nail Jake for filing a false report. Chief said that Jake technically was assaulted, though, so it's dropped. God, I hate lawyers. I guess it's not a very fun place to be. Unauthorized access investigation. Interesting. Terminal 023B was hacked last night. Sandy investigated, and we've got no idea who did it. The Reclamation files were accessed, however, which has the chief furious. What does he expect? Half the Rezzies are goddamn geniuses. How are we supposed to keep them out of restricted files? Doubled up the shift so we have more eyes out there. Like that'll help. He's got a point, really. Thief investigated. Another claim from Jake. Again, sent Nakamura over the edge. She's the only one that doesn't want to strangle the guy. Jake claims he's missing 1 box of sugar bombs from his room. He's demanding that we investigate it. 1 box of sugar bombs? Told Nakamura to drop the investigation. With Reclamation Day coming, we have far more important things to do. Okay, so let's have a little read about security logs. The final entry and rundown complete. Okay, let's read the final entry first. 25 years of service, no killed in actions, and one hell of a send-off. I made one last plea to arm the Rezzies before we open. Denied. My solemn hope is generations from now, visitors will come to Vault 76 and read this and know how dedicated their forefathers were, how we regrew America from the ashes. But I must admit, I'm afraid as well. If some of the experiments in the other vaults go wrong, it can give you nightmares. And that's the only thing I know about. If we can only stick together, work together, I think we stand a chance. Keeping a lid on it. Had to lock down Casey for blabbing about the activation notice. The cat's already out of the bag, but orders were orders. Procedure is that we announce tomorrow. but you can feel the excitement. The team keeps asking about what to expect out there. The nukes knocked out our external sensors, so we're blind. Only the secondary Geiger counters are operational. Scuttlebutt's gone wild. Lots of whispering of who's grouping up with who after Reclamation. I worry that the biggest threat to the project isn't any threat we'll face out there, it's from within. The Resis are a formidable lot, but give them free reign and Lord help us. That's got to be true. I mean, it must be quite a political society in here, inside the vault, with all these different geniuses frictioning up against one another. Must be a bit of a nightmare, really. Rundown complete. Team tour through the activation notice checklist, logs wiped, non-essential gear secured, reclamation packages acquired, etc. The whole procedure went down in record time, like we've been practicing for years. Some grumbled about unleashing the Resis without the Overseer keeping them in check, but overall a good performance. So again, more proof that the Overseer was not here when everyone else was released from the vault. She left early with an ulterior motive. So here we go, we're going to follow in her footsteps now and figure out why exactly that was. There's nothing else to grab in here, so let's literally just leave.
Goodbye! Aloha! Ciao! Arrivederci! Au revoir! Auf Wiedersehen! Vaya con Dios! Buen viaje!
He will go through pretty much every language I know of in existence. Let's just go. I'm actually also amazed that the residents were released without weapons. I mean, that seems crazy considering they have no idea what's out there. And we have some idea because we played previous Fallout games. But God, could you imagine? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'd want to be as prepared as possible. So this is the outside of Vault 76. A beautiful exit as any Fallout game to the world beyond. And oh my God, there are lots of cool things to explore. But we're going to be focusing on the main mission at hand. So first things first, let's go and pick up a pipe pistol from this corpse over here. Pre-war money and a pipe pistol. Very nice. There's also some robots just there. So what I want to do, guys, whip on my black rimmed glasses and my pipe pistol. I'm going to sneak attack this robot just here. There we go, one down. It's not very accurate at range, but accurate enough for me to get a few hits on these guys. And a little bit of experience here at the start of the game. Now you can go and harvest these for scrap if you wish. This one's quite a high level. I've only got one shot left. Boom. He's not dead yet. Oh well, let's run over here and pick up our melee weapon. Now ammo in this game, I've never had a problem with picking up copious amounts of ammo from all over the place as I was playing. So, you know, there's nothing really to worry about there. And I'll show you some good ways to get ammo later. But let's speak to Pennington.
Oh, sir, I found this holotape on the Overseer's terminal. Gave a little listen. Seems you should meet her at her camp, just down the road.
Very well. We've got to go to the Overseer's camp, and I'll give that holotape a listen in a moment. But first, let's grab our first melee weapon, which should be a machete on this person's corpse. This responder, who we're going to find out about in this episode, the responders are a new faction in Fallout 76. Let's read this. I need you to make the monthly scouting run to Vault 76. Those doors have to open sometime. Don't take risks, observe for a few days, and come back. Mara. Let's take that with us, and the machete as well. Let's equip the machete right now. So this is quite interesting because the responder is dead. So potentially the Vault people came out of here, killed the responder, and carried on. But he looks a little bit, you know, he's been dead for a little while. But he's not a skeleton yet, so, you know, that's what makes me think that could have happened. Okay, there's some robots over here. We're going to kill those, then we're going to listen to this holotape. Now, melee is obviously not what we're going to be using on this build, but it's still, you know, something that's useful at the start of the game, just until we get a bit of ammo strapped up. But make sure you grab all of the steel loot from these robots that you meet along the way, because it's going to be very useful. Where is the... There he is. I couldn't see him in the undergrowth there. Boom! Get wrecked. Yeah, just grab all the steel scrap you can. And I'm going to put the Overseer's holotape on now, and then we'll carry on talking about other tips I can give you in a moment. Okay.
Overseer's log, or should I say, direct communication. Because whoever is listening to this had the moxie to try to find out where I've gone. But I'm glad you did. Truth is, I need your help. I've been given a task and I've decided to break protocol and tell you what it is. Because if there's one thing I've learned in these past few years, it's that we need to rely on each other. There were 3 active nuclear silos in Appalachia before the bomb fell. They blew up the world before. We can't let it happen again. So we've got to locate and secure all of the silos. Or die trying. Hopefully the former. But it's been 25 years. I just don't know what we're gonna find out there. Or where to start. My directive was to go to the nearest population center and assess the situation. I'll set up a camp on the way once I get my bearings. Find me there.
Okay, so she set up a camp, the Overseer's camp in fact, which is actually a pretty good base for most of the game that you can always pop back to, so you know, it's always good to know where that is. So we're going to head over there right now, and we're going to find out if we can find any more clues on our quest to following the Overseer. Now my plan with this, guys, is just to sort of like follow the Overseer's path, which kind of guides you through some very interesting locations. And during our time in those locations, we're going to sort of discover the story behind those as well. And I think that will provide quite a good narrative story for you guys to enjoy, listen along to, and follow. Now, if you guys want me to do adventuring and fighting in between those locations when I'm heading over to each one, let me know in the comments section. In fact, I might even put a vote down below in the description so you guys can vote on what you want to see. And we also want some scraps, so you know, let's just take this protection out right now. He wants to chop some wood, but we want to chop him up. Oh, I missed that block there. It's very easy to kill these enemies at the start of the game, so you might as well. You know, there's no reason why not to. It gives me 20 experience. You can level up. Oh, whoa, there's a bee swarm there. Let's avoid that and go this way, because that is a good way to lose a lot of health at the start of the game if you don't have like a Molotov or something to kill it. So the camp is on our map, located Vault 76. Follow this road. At the end of the road, across the river, the Overseer's camp just there. Now there is a farm that you will find as you come across it, so I'm going to quickly kill the enemies here and probably cut it out of the video because, you know, it's not that interesting, but there is a little bit of lore in this house, so maybe I'll keep it in actually. But you know, if you guys want me to keep in the locations in between, like the Wixon Homestead location just here, let me know and I will keep them in the video. Get out of here, Mr. Ghoul. So I'm going to take the house right now and kill everything inside and wait for them to come in so I can just take them out easily. This guy with a pipe pistol doesn't stand a chance. Get wrecked, son. I mean, it is a Fallout game and there's a lot of emphasis on searching things, taking everything you can to scrap down, which you should definitely do because the Overseer's camp is right around the corner, and as soon as we get there we can very easily scrap everything we found so far. This Scorched has a crown above her head, so she's actually got some more items compared to the other one, and a golf club as well, which is very useful. Let's have a look what we've got so far in terms of weaponry. We've got a pipe pistol revolver, which does more damage than our standard pipe pistol, but fires slower, and also a golf club. So I'll probably be using the golf club for now, because it does more damage as a two-handed weapon. And here is a message to Sammy. This is what I want to show you guys. Responders don't know shit. Every night there's more of them in the sky. Brotherhood warned them. Warned us all. Defiance has fallen, they said. What the hell does that mean? Supplies running low. May try to get Abby way over the mountain. Free states have got to know more. Sammy, you read this. Get to Abby, straight east of the Red Rocket Megastop. She knows the Brotherhood of Steel better than anyone. May angels look for you, because sure as shit, nothing else will. So you can actually take this note and you can follow on the map the Red Rocket gas station. And when you find it, you'll actually find some more about the Brotherhood of Steel, and you can go and find what this epic dab though. You can actually find some more out about them, and eventually you'll be able to find some cool armor and Brotherhood of Steel outfit and so on. So we're nearing up to the bridge now, right in front of the Overseer's camp, and I've pretty much cleared out that farm location. I also picked up everything I could, and you'll see some plants along the riverside here actually, guys, like the soot flower, and also some glowing fungus There's some more here. You're going to want to harvest all of these plants because crafting is so important in this game. I don't think a lot of people have realized how important it is, but scrap is like the main mechanic. So basically, there's also a wooden chest here you're going to want to grab with sometimes some explosives in there if you're lucky. But scrap is the main mechanic. So everything you find, you pick up and you scrap it, and then you use that to create weapons and armor and also repair things as well. So it's almost more important. It's the main progression, really. So here's the Overseer camp. And she's actually set up a whole crafting station here. So what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to scrap all my items, everything I found. Just press T, scrap everything, there you go. And I've also got some machetes and other things to scrap and this golf club. So I'm going to scrap everything. I'm going to leave myself one melee weapon for now. And I've also got a bolt action pipe pistol, which is the kind of weapon we want on this build. So I'm going to keep that because it does 40 plus damage. And I'm going to destroy everything else because I just don't need it right now. And then I'm also going to craft a weapon because I get some experience for doing so. And it's also an objective. And then we have throwing knives, which are actually one of the best weapons in the entire game because they do 75 damage and they only cost a tiny amount of steel to build. So they're invaluable and they're so good for taking out higher level enemies. So I recommend crafting, carry around about 20 or 30 whenever you can because they're so useful. Then what I'm going to do is repair my golf club or any other melee weapon you have just so it's fully repaired. I've got 2 bolt action pipe pistols there just in case, one I made just now. And now let's listen to the Overseer's camp diary and also loot everything else here to find out what's going on.
Overseer's log, south of Vault 76. I knew this wasn't going to be the Appalachia I remembered, but mutated animals, haywire bots, no people so far. We have to be ready to rebuild in what I can confirm is hostile territory. Fortunately, Vault Tech was prepared. You see this? The cooking station, the stash box, the workbenches, all built with the camp. You need a home base out there. The construction and assembly mobile platform is designed to give you one. Just add resources, planning, and a little elbow grease. When you move your camp, everything you've built is stored, ready to be placed back down in the new area. Use this to establish a foothold whenever you're in unfamiliar territory. I've left my camp behind so you can use it. I know I'm breaking my own advice by not taking it with me. But after seeing Appalachia for myself, I need to make sure every resident of 76 has a safe haven they can start from. I'll make do without it. If it's still standing, the town of Flatwoods is further down this road. Find me there. This is the Overseer, signing off.
So the Overseer has gone to Flatwoods and we're going to go and check out where that is. It is literally just down the road, so it's not far for us to travel at all. But I'm just going to hotkey my items right now, and I suggest you guys do the same thing as me. Hotkey them wherever you like. There we go. And we also have our stash here, which obviously I can use to put anything I'm not using inside. It does currently have a limit of things you can put inside there though, so do bear that in mind. I'm also going to go ahead and craft myself some light armor. Now before we go any further guys, what I'm going to do is have a sleep in the sleeping bag. Now the first thing this is going to do is obviously regenerate my health extremely slowly, but the most important thing it's going to do is after about 1 or 2 minutes, it will actually give us a unique buff that gives us plus 5% experience, which is, just makes you level up faster, and why would you not want that? So make sure you just sleep for a few seconds. If you're in a team, everyone do it, and then you'll get that unique buff. There we go, you feel well rested. Okay, and I mean that's enough health for me right now, so I'm just gonna carry on adventuring like this. So our next stop along the journey guys, Overseer Camp, Flatwood Village is just here. So let's carry on south down here. Now I'm actually kind of glad and I've waited a little bit for this because there are currently no players in this location, which is fantastic. It means I can actually listen to holotapes and stuff without really loud, annoying footsteps. So that's always a good thing. Let's obviously loot everything we get along the way. For example, these iguana bits are going to be good to eat, but currently I'm just going to leave it as it is because I'm not even that hungry right now, nor am I very thirsty. A farmhand robot. Now this character is going to be using sneak quite a bit. The AI in this game are a bit stupid, so it's quite easy to sneak attack them, like so. But obviously with farmhand robots, I'm just going to save my ammo and take them out like this. See, if you hit their eyes, it does tons of damage, like so. Love it. Very easy. Okay, so we're almost at the town of Flatwoods, a very interesting place, and home to the Responders faction, in fact. I've also leveled up my character as we were venturing over here. I think behind, yeah, just here, there's some shotgun shells, another Responder who has frag grenades. Sometimes there's a shotgun here, but there's not right now, so I'm just going to pick up everything else, including the wine. And the buckets. Ah, here we go. A pipe auto pistol though. That's, you know, not as good as a shotgun, but still good. So each one of these survivors has a survivor story. And we're going to find out about some of these now as we make our way over to the church in the center of the town, of course, as they usually are. There's not actually a lot of enemies, I don't think, in the center. It's pretty clear. So let's go and head inside. There's some stretchers outside, which doesn't really bode well. And also some healing materials. Here we are at the Responders HQ, as we're about to find out. So let's first listen to the Overseer's log, because that gives us a little bit of a background here.
Overseer's log, town of Flatwoods. My God, there's no one here. The old tavern, the church, people were using them for shelter, but they're gone. Mutations we expected. But there's something else. A disease. I was attacked by... Well, it used to be a person. But it had these green, glowing lesions, and its voice. Angry, tortured. We are one. One what? Whatever happened here is beyond anything we expected. And we expected a lot. Before they were wiped out, the survivors called themselves the Responders. Looks like they were made of firefighters, police, emergency medical staff. They even have an automated system to teach people about treating water, food, survival. I'm doing their tests, and you should too. I know it's even worse than we imagined, but someone's got to know where the missile silos are, and how to secure them. The Responders are the best lead we have. This is the Overseer, signing off.
So the Responders were basically a faction there to share their wealth of knowledge, their shared knowledge, with helping other people in the community who are... Oh, Jesus, there's a rabbit there. Who are trying to help other people in the community survive in these harsh conditions. And there's also something else at the top here, I do believe, which is worth picking up. So now we're going to register as a Responder, despite everyone being dead. Oh, I didn't want to start that holotape. And we're going to hopefully learn a little bit about looking after ourselves, which we actually need to do to progress the main quest. So let's head over to the Responder HQ in here with some more dead Responders. Oh dearie me. What kind of illness did they have here, I wonder? Literally everyone is dead. Self-service registration. Okay, welcome survivor. This program was developed to turn regular survivors into certified Responder volunteers. As a volunteer, your job is to help others. And our job as Responders is to help everybody, including you. Let's register. Transferring course to your external hardware. Done. Report to Responder Kesha McDermott for further instruction. So, People Dictionary, we can actually find Kesha. McDermott Kesha, yeah, here she is. She last checked in 10/25/96 and she was at the river. Okay. Monitoring water safely. So she's hopefully going to tell us how to purify water, like the Overseer said. First contact quest complete. So I've leveled up again. And we can actually level up our characters. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to be investing the first 3 points we have into intelligence. So let's get the second perk card for first aid. Now we can heal even more, 30% more lost health. So I'm going to put that in my character. Here we go. Oh, I can rank it up again to level 3. There we go. Intelligence level 3, first aid. So we have Stimpaks restore 45% more lost health, which is absolutely perfect. So now our Stimpaks restore max health every time we use them, and we can, get the full use out of Stimpaks, which is perfect. Who goes there? Part 1. Quest started. First things first. I like the pun there. So I'm just going to quickly rob all the... oh my god, there's a responder in the refrigerator. Maybe we'll listen to this actually later because it could be quite interesting. There's also a recipe in the kitchen here. Infused sweet flour tea and vegetarian ham, which is quite hard to come by usually. But I recommend you pick up all of this stuff and the office desk fans because they contain screws, which are also very useful in crafting, as we'll discover later on. But I might do a whole video about this location, but for now, obviously, as I said earlier, we're just going to concentrate about the main quest. But if you want a full video about it, I will link it down below as soon as it's done. So aside from looting, let's leave this area. Might be worth a quick check upstairs to see if there's anything of value here, actually. Another holotape and some pre-war money. And a bowler hat and a cigar. Some reason he was playing poker with a teddy bear. I'm not going to question it, Let's head down to the river now. See if we can find this poor dead soul. She's obviously going to be dead, isn't she? Yeah, here she is. By the river, collecting water samples. She's actually died here. Let's listen to her story.
DASA has asked us all to document our stories for posterity, Seems like a fine idea. So, hi, I am Kesha McDermott. When the bombs fell, I was in Watoga, coordinating a statewide science fair for that year's high school kids. And the theme was the future of energy. After the bombs, everything was pretty chaotic. Scavenging for food and fighting off rabid survivors. Oh, it was just a bad time all around. I found a couple of surviving kids from the high school whose parents didn't make it, and we holed up in a house in town for a while. After a bit, I was able to solder the circuitry in an old radio, and we tuned in to a broadcast from the responders. Oh, we were overjoyed. The trip from Watoga to Flatwoods, it was rough, mind you. The kids and I ran into a group of assholes in the mountains who stole our food and water. I can't tell you how happy I was to find the responders in Flatwoods. Tents for everyone, open kitchens, medical supplies, protection. We were safe. They had a problem, though. Their water sources were contaminated heavily. People were boiling water, but not long enough to make it safe. So, I stepped up and I said, I'll build a testing kit to monitor the contamination, and I will teach folks how to properly boil water. And I did. The world is getting better, but slowly. We need to make sure it doesn't relapse too. It's going to take time and care, that's all. Well, time, care, and science.
So there you have it, the story behind the water there. People weren't boiling it enough, they didn't really know how to treat the water correctly, so people were obviously getting sick from the water, which is interesting. So, Now we need to test a sample from the river. Okay, so we need to take a sample from the river. I didn't actually do while I was there. A bit retarded of me. So let's take a river sample, collect that right now. And now we need to go ahead and test it at the designated location. We need to take another test sample from the water pumps first. Now there's actually a Brahman cow here, and why this may seem a little bit harsh, it's actually a very good source of food. So let's go ahead and harvest its meat. Come here, Brahman. Brahman meat hide and 6 experience for killing a defenseless creature. There's another one here I can kill, but to be honest, I don't really need to, so I'm just going to leave him. Let him survive. I don't need that 5 experience. You know, nobody got time for that. So here's the water pump, also near what appears to be some place with... Oh, Jesus Christ, there's a mole rat here. Hello. Come back here, mole rat. Oh my god, come on, mole rat. There we go, finally. Mole rat meat's also very useful too. Let's collect this water sample here from the water fountain where everyone was drinking. Guarantee it's like literally the reason everyone was dying. Now we need to head back to the test location. If you guys want a... Oh, I just threw a throwing knife. We can pick that up again though, like that. So, you know, unlimited throwing knives basically, which is pretty good. If you guys want a video on like how to build your character, I've also got lots of different builds, like a melee build, which is extremely powerful. Even later on in the game, it's just wrecks face. But this character here we're building with this playthrough is obviously more of a stealthy sniper character. A lone wolf who can take out enemies from across the map. It's going to be a beautiful thing. So let's go and head over and test this water right now then. Use. Analyze water cycle. Conclusion. Water is not significantly improved since the last sample. So water type is dirty and the disease is severe. Okay, that explains a lot. We can have a look at the archives here as well, and as you can see, it started off as a serious case, it became extreme, and now it's fatal, which is why everyone could be dead, you know. So now the game wants us to boil the water. So let's head over. Oh, there's a possum. A possum meat is also very good, guys. Let's take out this poor opossum, get wrecked, son, and head over and boil our water right now. I'll talk about cooking later on, because the quest sort of leads into it. And we can also now, with boiled water, make multi-fruit juice. And also simple sweet flower tea, which is, you know, from the ingredients we collected already. And it's worth noting that multi-fruit juice increases our agility by 1. Simple sweet flower tea increases our max AP by 10. So they're both very useful, but, you know, why wouldn't you want to make that right now? Small drinking glass, don't need that. Okay, so now let's head over to the responder terminal because we've learned how to boil water. So on to our next task, to become a fully fledged responder. Check volunteer status. Challenge complete, reach level 4. You get a lot of experience for doing the main quest. So you must complete one more experiment for responders to become a full volunteer. Transferring course for your external hardware done. Reporting responders Delbert Winters for further instructions. Okay, so let's find where Delbert Winters is. Where is Winters? Okay, apparently he was a cook. And he lives just down the road. Okay, so we've done that quest, and I can level up my character again. Do you know what? Let's just level up quickly before I forget. You have an unopened perk pack. Would you like to open it? Yes, I would. Let's see what we get, guys. Scrounger. Hacker, that's a good one. Concentrated fire. Now, all the perks at the start of the game, you get them in a certain order. So, you know, you're not going to get high-level perk packs randomly, and even then, you can only use them at a certain level. So these are going to be pretty basic, and you can literally follow this build as you see it in the video. You want to follow along with the Let's Play. And we also got a reward for doing that quest, and some caps as well. And I'm almost level... Oh no, I am level 4 now. Hell yeah, okay. Great, so we've actually leveled up twice, and we've not leveled up our character yet, which is quite important for this build. So what I'm going to do is level up now. and I'm going to put a point into charisma, like so. And now we have access, because we're level 4, to the Lone Wanderer perk. So we're going to select that, guys. Accept. Lone Wanderer perk is extremely useful for my, lone wolf build, obviously. When adventuring alone, take 10% less damage and gain 10% more AP regeneration, which is extremely important for this build. And also have the hacker perk here. And anytime you find a level 1 hacking terminal, you basically just swap the perk for the first aid card, and then you can hack. You don't need to have them both in at once, because you're not always going to be hacking something. So, only have it in there temporarily, otherwise you're wasting time. It's getting dark now, but let's go over to this caravan where I believe the chef of Flatwood lives. Didn't actually mean to pick up that holotape, but oh well. Let's open this door and get rid of that holotape there, just because I don't want to listen to it right now. It's interrupting the storyline. Okay, so is there anything good here? Recipe Delbert Sunshine Oil. Here we go. That is a unique recipe. And by the way, guys, when you pick up these recipes, just to let you know, I didn't realize this at first. They're in your notes section. So we've got a plan for a chemistry workbench. You actually have to click these and then you'll learn them all. And I reckon you can trade them all onto one character if you want, but considering no one plays the game in a way that, they keep swapping around characters in order to have one that crafts absolutely everything, in terms of food recipes at least, I suggest just learning everything you come across. So Delbert Winters is of course dead. Let's listen to his holotape and see what he has to say.
Reverend Delbert Winters here, born and raised in this very town. Lent my own church to the responders for their outpost here, and you're welcome. The responders are on a true mission, you see, helping folks through thick and thin, till the heavens open up again and take us all up anyways. When this all happened, I figured like most it was time. This was the end, but it wasn't, was it? We're still here. At first, I thought it was a mistake, that we was missed, forgotten. Maybe we did some wrongs. Didn't give enough to charity, maybe. Didn't praise his name, even in the worst of times. Maybe thought some things that ought not to have been thought. So I asked how? Why? I fought your wars on Earth. I'm ready to fight them up there by your side. Then, in my despair, I saw some survivors eating raw rat carcass behind a dumpster. You ought to cook that first, I warned them. Seemed obvious. We tried but got sick, they said, covered in their own filth. I realized right then and there that I was being tasked. From then on, I built kitchens, cooked good food, fed anyone who walked up with an empty belly, and I was thankful for my task in life. Thankful. Next time hell or high water land in my stoop, I'll be swept clear away with it. But until then, let's share a home-cooked meal together, all right?
So there you have it. He was a cook, and he came here to help everyone because he realised they didn't know how to cook this radiated meat. But maybe we can find some more information about Delbert in his terminal here. Volunteer training. Delbert wants every volunteer to cook one meal for today's potluck. Today's menu is Survivor's Basic Ribsized Steak. Instructions: get some meat from the local cow, toss it in the fire until it stops oozing. Comfort Food Cookbook. Sunshine Oil. That's again the recipe on how to make sunshine oil. You guys are interested. Potluck schedule. Ribeye steak every day. Okay, great. Past favorites. Ribeye steak. Top 10. Wow, okay. Delbert's diary. This is the story of Delbert. Let's have a read. I needed to write down my thoughts because I was losing faith. I'm ashamed to admit it. We heard a little bit about this in his holotape. I witnessed the wrath with my own eyes. The brightest of lights filled the sky, and I thought it had come from me, and those of the faith. But we remain. Why? Either he did not come, or we were not good enough. I pray, every moment I can. Nothing. I hear nothing. I used to hear something, I think. Did I? It's hard to remember. So long ago. February 20th. This past month I have struggled. I cooked a lot though. It helps me keep calm to cook ingredients that are so simple, mix this and that, and you got yourself a food. Life, not so much. And the beyond, I don't know. I thought I did. Responders set up a camp in town. There are a bunch of medical and firefighter types, and they plan to fix up survivors. I'm volunteering. This is something I know I can do. Nightmares. Devoting myself to cooking for these survivors and running the book club and nightly survivor guild meetings has been good for me. But still, I come home at night and I think, why? I was ready. I was ready my whole life for this. What did I do wrong? He's talking about God, of course, if you don't know. Weird cows. It makes me glad to see the responders are taking in the survivors so well. We need them, Lord knows. We need to rebuild this land. I've been noticing a weird thing. Some of the animals are born different. At first I thought it was just a random fluke. Two-headed cow should go to the Museum of Fakery. But then it happened again. And again. He doesn't make mistakes like this. Again, referring to God. The flood. Weird. Cows are being born more often than not, and I don't know what to say. Plants are weird too. Plants are merging, changing colours. I don't know what. Maybe this is a recreation of our world like after the flood. If so, we survivors had no ark, no protection. I stayed up all night cooking stew and corn prawn for everyone here. There's a lot of us now. A lot of us aren't doing so good. Some of us lost faith in the responders and ran to the mountains to join gangs. I pray for them. I pray for us all, mind you. Experiments. The weird cows continue to be weird. I heard someone who arrived from over east here call them Brahman. I can't remember what regular cow tastes like anymore, or regular tomatoes for that matter. I've got up an experiment to monitor these things. I'm worried. What if the meat and vegetables here are hurting us? I need to keep track of these things to know for sure. In the meantime, I think old pre-war packaged food is probably okay. Gangs. A bunch of old survivors came down to the town from the mountains. They're all in gangs now. They wanted stuff. They tore up my gardens and killed some cows. I'm going to start putting some extra food in the pantry just in case. And I need to remember, they have a tough time up there. There can't be much to eat in the mountains. And why leave? Our future. I brought all the weird cows down from the nearby farm and let them loose in the pastures. I think they'll stay by because I planted a bunch of good hay grass up there. In a couple of months I'll build up a garden near the house and I'll set up some control groups of plants. He didn't take us, so I think I need to make sure I'm ready for when he returns. This has to be just a trial. I have to do better. I need to make sure everyone here eats well and survives until the end. Apology. I have sunken my entire life lately into these experiments and feeding these survivors. I've asked him if this is enough, if he will come for me now. Silence. Is this punishment? I was in the war. I killed. I know I did these things, but I had to. They made me do it. I thought it was right too. How can I apologize now? At peace. Just finished planting the community garden for the next year. Figure I'll spend some time in the garden patches behind my house for a bit. It brings me peace to work on the land like this. Planting some seeds, gonna see what the hoot they turn out to be. Don't look like any kind of seeds I know. Bless his creativity, right? He's starting to question everything, including his religion, which is rather sad actually, because you then see Delbert's dead body here, and as you saw when we first walked in the room, I picked up a throwing knife from this burnt textbook. One can only assume that this textbook was the Bible and that Delbert lost his faith and maybe even committed suicide, I don't know. But here we are, guys. We've got to go and kill a Brahmin, which I've already done, and we've got to go and cook its food. And it looks like there are some desks here, so potentially, yeah, free cooking lessons. Just outside Flatwoods Taverns, in the parking lot, Reverend Delbert Winters leads cooking lessons every day, free to all survivors. Come and learn how to cook. So he was actually teaching people how to cook as well. He was a good man, Delbert. I'm sorry what happened to him, you know. So here we go, we're going to do some cooking, guys. Now I'm going to look at the food I can make, and I suggest just literally crafting everything you have, like grilled rad roach. And what I'm looking for here, guys, is if you look on the left here, this gives me 25 health. The more health it gives me, the better, really. Like mutt chops give me 45, so they're really good. And then we also have ribeye steak, gives me 45 as well. But noticed these things also give me more radiation, so do bear that in mind when you're trying to heal yourself. Okay, there we have it. We've cooked the food. And now we need to go and head back to the terminal here. And I think finishing this quest, to be honest. And we can leave this area now. Complete training. Congratulations, volunteer. Granting access to the responders database. Done. Okay, great. Now we need to contact the responders using the database we found, which we can now access in the main church. So let's come around here. Robco Industries. Log in. And we are volunteer. Great, we've passed the security emergency contact responders HQ. Challenge complete. And we've got some purified water. A large horde of Scorched is on the move and it might be headed for our main base at Morgantown Airport. All personnel are requested to report to HQ as soon as possible. And medical supplies. Marcel Chavez. Connection terminated. So, we need to head over to the airport, I guess. There's also a restricted message with some more interesting background about Flatwoods, but I'm not going to read it in episode. We've done the quest and we can move on with the storyline now, and that's what I want to do. Okay, so from Flatwoods, the airport is located all the way up here. So, sometimes there's events going on around here and you can just fast travel straight there. So just here there's actually an event going on called Feed the People, and I can fast travel to this location now despite the fact we've never been there. So this is one of the best ways you can actually get to a location very quickly. Alright guys, so we're almost at the airport now. I just did an event, so my character's got even more experience. Events are a great way to level up quickly as you're questing, by the way, so I suggest doing them whenever you get the opportunity to. You can see I've got power armor as well now. If you guys haven't already, check out my guide in the description on how to get power armor early on. Character's only level 5, already in full power armor, which gives him 80 damage resistance. And it makes his strength, if you guys look, let me show you. It makes my strength 11 now, which is insanely good, of course. So despite my character only having a strength of 1, he can carry a lot of stuff, because, you know, the game makes it 10 by default, so very useful indeed. So here we are almost at the airport. You can see the control terminal just there. It looks like it's been turned into some kind of fortress actually, and the responders did say it was their main strong point, but I can actually see a little entrance here, so let's head down here. Now the power armor gives us a natural resistance to radiation, so we don't need to worry about that too much. I've also got my rifle ready right here. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the first hour-long episode of Fallout 76 walkthrough. I think it's quite a relaxing video to kind of watch and just listen to the backstory and the lore of these different locations that we're going to travel through on the main quest on our way to finding the nuclear launch site. There's a lot of stuff to explore on the way, and I want to do each location justice, including the airport here. So if you guys want me to like keep in the bits between locations in the video, I will try and do my best to do that, but I want this to be a fluid story that people can actually follow, because it's actually very hard when you're playing the game yourself not to get distracted by everything going on around you, especially if there's other players or if you're trying to play with your friends and listen to holotapes. The game just doesn't work very well. I will link the next episode and the playlist down below in the description, along with lots of other guides on finding power armor, builds, and so on. If you guys did enjoy the video though, and you want early access to the next episode and all future episodes, you can actually become a Patreon as well, and I'll link that down below in the description. There's lots of cool stuff I give away on Patreon to fans who support my content, including early access to other videos like my book reading series I'm doing for Skyrim at the moment. If not, you can always subscribe and press the bell icon, then YouTube will let you know every time I release a new episode. I've been having some issues recently with videos just not appearing in people's subscription feeds, so you know, that's a good way to ensure YouTube will hopefully notify you about it. But thank you very much for watching guys, thank you for all the support on this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.